Texas. At that point, we contacted DPS and agencies to the north to send them the information to make sure they were aware of the vehicle, the circumstances, and that he was armed and dangerous. At that point, Gainesville PD located the vehicle somewhere on I-35, got into pursuit of the vehicle. The vehicle, I don't know all the details of that, but they abandoned the vehicle, whether they wrecked or just left the vehicle, and fled into a wooded area. The subsequent search of that wooded area, we located, or the Gainesville Police Department located Jerry Don Elders. He is in custody at this time. There was a second subject with him. We don't know for sure who that is. They're continuing the search for that person. It could be one of the people that were in the vehicle as well. But the person we believe shot our officer and was likely involved in the death of a lady is in custody now. And I want to thank everyone that had so much to do with that, all the law enforcement agencies that came here in support, but also being able to put out a blue alert and how important that is, and be able to use technology to locate that vehicle and take a dangerous felon off the street. We've got Texas Rangers are doing the investigation, taking the lead on that. So a couple Texas Rangers are going to be headed to Gainesville as we speak to go up and interview, process that vehicle that they were in, and continue the investigation. I'll open it up to any questions you might have at this time.
So you said that you had him and then one of the people in the car, and then what about the third person?
Third person, we know who they are. We've been in contact with them and interviewing them. We'll see where that goes.
How relieved are you in your department that this guy's been caught?
Well, I mean, it's a tremendous relief for us. Number one, we have a person with 2 felony warrants, does not want to go back to jail, obviously shot a police officer and then stole a car out of, by knocking on a woman's door and taking her, if in fact that proves to be him, and we believe there's certainly a connection. He was fleeing in her vehicle. Very, very dangerous. So, for officers across this state that may encounter him, for our citizens and peace of mind of so many others, we are extremely relieved that he is in custody and that we'll continue to follow up with that.
Can you speak on the updated status of the officer who was shot?
The officer, it's really a remarkable story. He was shot, we believe, 3 times. We're still, we believe, once in the chest. He had a wound up here in just below the shoulder where the bullet went in here. And then he had a through and through shot to his neck, meaning that the bullet went on one side, the back of the neck, and out the other side. It's an amazing story. I visited with him at the hospital. He's alert. He's in stable condition. And speaking, visited with him in the hospital and his wife. And we're just very thankful. It could have been a very different outcome on this scene. So we're very thankful this officer is going to recover.
Are you releasing the officer's name yet?
We have not released the officer's name yet. We may release it later on our social media. We just haven't talked to them to make sure that they're okay and that they've got all the relatives that they want to notify. Sorry, I know that's important to you, and we will come back and release as quick as we can.
Is your suspect going to be transferred here? Is he going to be held in Tarrant County? Do you know yet?
Well, all the offenses occurred in Johnson County, so he'll be prosecuted through Johnson County. The warrant, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against a peace officer, was signed, my understanding, as $1 million bond on that. Usually a question I want to ask. He also has a possession of controlled substance warrant on him. That's a felony level offense. I don't know what the bond is on that one. So his prosecution will be back in Johnson County. Obviously, when you arrest someone multiple counties away, there's a process that goes through where we'll have to take him to arraignment there. The Texas Rangers will follow up on that, but eventually he'll be returned to Johnson County, we hope.
Where in Gainesville specifically did the suspect abandon his vehicle?
It's about, help me out, 5-6 miles from Oklahoma border, straight up I-35. Yeah.
You have at least 2 outstanding suspects that y'all are...
Well, we've got one that we've talked to, and one that was in the vehicle. We're not releasing any information on that particular person. We're trying to work through, the Rangers are working through whether or not that person, how much involvement, what level of knowledge they had with the offense. So The main person we've really focused on is this very dangerous man and getting him off the street. We know who and have identified the third person that was in the vehicle. It's my understanding that person has some outstanding warrants not related to the shooting but related to narcotics. So our officers in active pursuit of that person. He may have been, we don't know this yet, he may have been the second person that left the vehicle in Gainesville. So we're working through all of those details.
The lady in the initial offense, no, you're not releasing the name yet, but can you give us a little more information how that all kind of...
The one that was in the vehicle?
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going to defer to DPS. Since they're in charge of the investigation, we're releasing that we made custody, but any investigative details are going to need to go through Department of Public Safety. Okay. Any other questions that I can answer for you? Well, listen, I want to thank you, and I want to thank all of the neighboring agencies that have called out in support, the number of citizens that have called out in support, the number of agencies that are here working to quickly resolve this issue. It started at 4:15 this morning, and less than 12 hours, we've got him in custody, and that took a lot to get that done. And there's a lot of people that have worked really, really hard on this. So continue to pray for our officer and his family and this Blue family here, as well as Blue families across this nation. It's a tough time to be a police officer, and our officers know that, but some of my favorite people, because even knowing that, they still pin that badge on and show up to work every day in protection of their city, and we're always grateful for that. Thank you for being here and being a part of this day, and we look forward to your stories.
Do you expect to do any more briefings from here?
I don't think so, because I think it's going to take them a little while to get up to Gainesville, certainly a while to get through the interview, get through arraignment, and back here. And I don't know that there's anything that we would be able to add at that point. At this point, what I anticipate, and I'm looking at our marketing director for a nod, what I would anticipate is that we would release any additional information that we're going to release through our social media if we release the officer's name. Anything investigative detail-wise will be referred back to the Department of Public Safety at this point, but certainly this was a high-profile event, and we wanted to be able to give as much information to our citizens as we can, but the investigative details are going to need to come through DPS at this point.
I do have one final question,
All right.
if at all possible. The vehicle that was found 5-6 miles away from the Oklahoma border, was that on I-35?
I don't know exactly where it was. We were, we were up here after we released the blue alert, and then got the hit on the license plate reader of the hit in Denton, and we started reaching out to agencies, and then we were contacted again. Gainesville's in pursuit of them. So whether they stayed on 35 or got off to a side street, I don't have that information at this time.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Thank all of you. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Just to confirm that, so license plate reader hits it, then Gainesville PD actually physically puts eyes on it.
If you guys have cards, I'll take your cards and add it to
Pull
the
it
media.
over, take them in custody.
Yeah, contact
Sorry, I
us.
want to re-ask here, because I want to